Let's discuss sizing motor cables, specifically addressing a scenario involving a 75 horsepower fan motor operating at 480 volts, 3-phase, with a distance of 150 feet between the contactor and the motor, under continuous duty conditions. We'll navigate the wire sizing process taking into account temperature, derating, and the National Electrical Code requirements. The initial calculation indicates that a 75 horsepower motor at 480 volts draws 96 amps. Considering a number 2 wire with a 90°C insulation rating, it offers a current carrying capacity of 150 amps. Applying a temperature correction factor of 0.87, which you correctly pointed out, results in an adjusted ampacity of 113.1 amps. You also correctly mentioned a number 2 wire at 75°C, which is rated for 115 amps. Since the motor pulls 96 amps, some individuals suggested that the number 2 wire is adequate. However, the crucial aspect often overlooked is the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 430.32, subsection 8, which mandates that motor circuit conductors have an ampacity of not less than 125% of the motor's full load current. Applying this NEC requirement, the calculation becomes 96 amps multiplied by 1.25, resulting in 120 amps. This means the conductor must be rated for at least 120 amps. Comparing this with the temperature derated ampacity of the number 2 wire at 90°C, which is 113.1 amps, it falls short of the NEC mandated 120 amps. Therefore, the number 2 wire is insufficient for this application. To meet the NEC requirements, a larger wire size must be selected. A number 1 wire with a 90°C insulation rating has an ampacity of 145 amps. This exceeds the required 120 amps derived from the 125% calculation. Therefore, a number 1 wire, rated at 90°C, is the appropriate choice for this application. To recap, the NEC mandates a minimum conductor ampacity of 125% of the motor's full load current. For this 75 horsepower, 480 volts motor drawing 96 amps, the required ampacity is 120 amps. While a temperature derated number 2 wire may seem sufficient based on the motor's current draw, it does not meet the NEC requirement. A number 1 wire at 90°C with an ampacity of 145 amps is the correct selection to comply with the NEC and ensure safe and reliable motor operation.